Praised be Jesus and Mary. Today in the Franciscan calendar, we celebrate St. Mary Ann de Paredes. And she was orphaned at an early age, but at the same time, she was attracted to the religious life. And she initially wanted to be a Dominican nun, but instead she became a hermit in the home of her sister, and her life changed from that point forward. And except for going to church, she never left the house again. And she did some very severe penances, sleeping very little, praying through the night, eating only an ounce of bread every 8 to 10 days, surviving solely on the Eucharist, which she received daily. She was given the gift of ecstasies and prophecy and reading hearts, given the gift of healing by just making the sign of the cross or sprinkling with holy water, and at least once she raised a dead person to life. And during a series of earthquakes in 1645 and the inevitable epidemics that followed them, she publicly offered herself as a victim for the city. And she died shortly thereafter. And immediately after her death, there blossomed a pure white lily from her blood. And the Republic of Ecuador has declared her a national patroness. And in today's first reading, we hear about the sacrifices that we have to make to God. And when we think about sacrifices, we're going to think about things like St. Mariana offered up, things that are difficult for us. However, Sirach begins by telling us that keeping the law is a great oblation, and observing the commandment sacrifices a peace offering. Works of charity, he tells us, are like offering fine flour. And in doing so, we're offering to God a sacrifice of praise. I know Father John Harden used to say, just keeping the commandments in a culture such as ours takes heroic virtue. Refraining from evil, Sirach tells us, is also something which is an atonement. St. Marianne did all of these things, but she did extra penances in atonement for the sins of others, in atonement for people who do not keep the commandments and do not sacrifice and do not tell God they're sorry. Of course, we should be doing all of these things anyway, keeping the commandments and practicing virtue. So, it's not necessarily a matter of offering up a Holocaust, as, they would have done in Old Testament times. But rather, it's a matter of doing these very things that we are supposed to be doing. But, doing them in a right manner. And then, we're actually going to be able to offer up a very pleasing sacrifice to the Lord. Sarah goes on to tell us that, to appear not before the Lord empty-handed. And this is critical. It doesn't matter, what kind of financial situation a person is in. Anyone and everyone can offer a sacrifice to the Lord if we simply do it exactly the way that it's presented here. All of us can follow the commandments, and we can perform works of charity. And in this way, we can atone for sin. We can, bring the gospel to other people. Our Lady of Fatima told the children that many people go to hell simply because people are not praying and they are not sacrificing. She says, to do these things and to keep the commandments because God is already much offended. So let us pray to St. Mariana today that we may have that fortitude to resist doing evil and that fortitude to do good,